Well, good afternoon, everyone. Before we get into the budget, though, I want to start off and address the vile racist lies and slander towards our fellow Minnesotans. Donald Trump's calling our Somali neighbors garbage and the state of Minnesota a hellhole is, I'm assuming, is unprecedented for a United States president. We've got little children going to school today who their president called them garbage. This shouldn't be that difficult of trying to conflate. Look, we see it here. If you commit crimes, you go to jail. Doesn't matter what your race is, what your ethnicity, religion. But demonizing the entire group of people by their race and their ethnicity, a very group of people who contribute to the vitality, economic, cultural of this state, is something I was hoping we'd never have to see. This is on top of all of the other vile comments. So let's be very clear. This should be easy to differentiate. You should very easily be able to say, we need to continue to work together. If there's crime, whether it's white, black, who cares, but to be able to condemn this. So I would just be very clear on this. Anyone in this state, especially elected officials, who are unable to condemn this vile attack on our neighbors in our state, you are complicit in it. And it will not stand in Minnesota. So I tell our Somali neighbors, I tell our Hmong neighbors, I tell all of our neighbors in Minnesota, you're respected, you're valued. We're proud of this state that ranks near the top in almost every single category. And I will tell you, the only thing that's hurting this state, as he so falsely claimed to a group of people, is Donald Trump himself. So with that, I want to thank MMB. Commissioner, thank you. Budget Director Mingy, Dr. Becker, thank you for that. Today, despite a worsening economy nationally, as you've seen, and because of the destabilization of the economy, the tariffs, and a lot of other things going on, Minnesota's financial position is better than when we came last time. We have recognized challenges remain out over the next 4 years, but we've grown the surplus. We have historic rainy day funds, and economic indicators still show growth here outpacing the national average. This is due in a large part to responsible budgeting. Over the last 7 years, but the last one was a tough one. I put out a very difficult budget last year. I think as you see the numbers that came up on here, we would have been better served if we would have fully enacted that budget in the cuts that I proposed that were far greater than we were seeing coming out of the legislature, but we compromised. And we got it done. And now Minnesota sets in a position, as I said, rainy day funds that are historic, a budget surplus this year, protection of the very programs that we care deeply about, and we can do it again, a plan to come together. But we're facing heavy headwinds. You saw it here and you hear it from our folks. Uncertainty we're seeing comes as no surprise to any person in this state. It's no surprise to anybody who's looked at their projected health care bills coming up. It's no surprise to anybody who's gone out and shopped for groceries. It's no surprise to any farmer who has seen lost markets or any farmer who knows that bankruptcies have doubled since January in the ag economy. It's no surprise that $40 billion sent to Argentina would have certainly been better spent here on our markets with our folks. It's no surprise to teachers trying to figure out how to make do, especially around special ed, with the destruction of the Department of Education. Or any county administrator that now absorbs the bills from the big, beautiful bill that is now being pushed onto them. The president has created chaos in our economy. He sat in the Oval Office and told you, and if we listened to him and budgeted, here's what he said. He said inflation was at record highs when he took office, and it's now non-existent. That's a false statement. It was 3% in January, it's 3% now. He told us that drug prices have come down minimum of 500%. So I'm assuming you all have your checks that you get every time you go purchase drugs. He's told us that soon the income tax will go away and states will receive money from the tariffs. He's told the American people every single one of them will receive $2,000 checks. That was following up the Doge checks. If we were to create a state budget based on what the President of the United States said to the nation in a cabinet meeting, we would have chaos beyond anything that's seen. The good news is that's not going to happen. We're going to do what we've done for 7 years. We're going to sit down together. We're going to budget in the best interest of the people of Minnesota. We are going to invest in the things that make Minnesota rank first in quality of life for our children, near the top in health care. All of the things that we measure by while making sure we have long-term fiscal stability. So last year, we made smart, thoughtful decisions, and there were cuts. I'm not going to tell anybody that those were not painful. The growth, especially in the disability waivers, was outpacing where we're at. We made those tough decisions, and that's what puts us in a better place where we were. But as I said last year, that was just the first step. I think over the next coming months, you will see us put out a budget very early into the next year before the session starts that will look very similar, I'm anticipating, to what we were able to do last year. That puts us in a solid position. So look, the uncertainty that's being reflected, the chaos that's coming out of Washington, the things that are happening there, we can't control that. But in Minnesota, we can control the ability to do what we do every single year, create good, solid budgets based on factual data. We're glad to report them. We will continue to try and make government more efficient. We will continue to take and tackle the issue of fraud, of people defrauding the people of Minnesota and the state of Minnesota. We know now that those programs have been paused. We have an independent auditor from the outside. We've enacted new powers that we have to stop payments and to be able to make sure that that snapshot of what's there is. The people who did it will go to prison. And as previous governors have dealt with fraud, my goal is to make sure that those going forward have much better tools, much more safeguards around programs to be clear that improve people's lives, that help, whether it's children with autism, whether it's childcare, whether it's housing, whether it's food, nutrition, and those things are absolutely paramount. But I want to be very clear. You can do that without being racist and vile and putting people at risk. You can do that by acknowledging where there's tools to be done and do so accordingly. You can do that without canceling programs that improve people's lives because a few people took advantage of the system. So I'm grateful to the professionals that helped make this happen. I'm grateful to the legislature that we were able to work together. And now we're going to have some acknowledgments that the federal government's not going to help us. The chaos is going to continue. We need to budget to protect Minnesotans as we had. And as I said, we're setting in a stronger place because we've done that. With that, I'll take